Okay, so a few months ago, I had made a video, I think my third or fourth video all time, about a person on Facebook who also has a YouTube channel named Emily Longworth. And I was responding to her video about how she supported Donald Trump's temporary ban for Muslims from 7 Muslim majority countries, basically. And I disagreed with her, and I got a lot of backlash. Currently, it's my most disliked video. I think it's 4 likes, 24 dislikes. And, I don't regret the video. I did my best to refute most of her claims, and I agreed with one claim that she made in the video, or maybe 2. But Emily Longworth has made a video about Tomi Lahren and how she got permanently suspended from the Blaze. And I can see that her video has a lot of dislikes, and the comments section is completely taken off. I hope she didn't receive any threatening messages, but if we want open communication like she says in her video, it's probably a good thing to keep the comment section up. So I just want to show you a portion of her video and kind of respond to it, because for the most part, I actually agree with this woman. So here we go.
Tomi Lahren. Whew, welcome to reality, baby girl. I could have told you that there's no such thing as freedom of speech without stipulation and consequence. It was career suicide to remain so silently oppositional, especially coming from a voice who's so vocally stern. The first lesson I've learned in what we do is to be openly communicative and consistent with your audience. This is where respect is generated, right? So if you lead your followers to believe that you are 100% conservative across the board, naturally, your followers are going to expect 100% conservative views. So when you switch things up on national television and vocalize your support for abortion rights, of course America's going to look at you sideways. Of course America's going to question your integrity as a public figure. We're so fed up as a country with inconsistency and half-truths that when we come into contact with them, reputations are hindered. Whenever you are introduced on a platform other than your own, it normally goes something like Tomi Lahren with the Blaze. You're not representing yourself like you seem to think. You're representing your employer. You're also representing the millions of followers and fans who counted on your consistency. So despite what you may think, Tomi Lahren's feelings don't actually matter. And even though that's where your signature originated from, it would be naive of you to think that your emotions are greater than money flow and view count.
I'm going to start out by talking about why I disagree with Emily. Emily seems to think that America as a whole was disgusted with the fact that Tomi basically contradicted herself. And Emily is a conservative, and, so is Tomi. But I don't see the outrage, for the most part, by Republicans and conservatives as much. They are more like, at least the ones that I've talked to, at least the ones that I'm friends with, are more upset with Glenn Beck and the Blaze for firing her, because she spoke in a way in which she was expressing an opinion, and they see this as censorship. I think you believe that a lot more people are against Tomi than actually are, and I really believe that the liberals that are upset with Tomi Lahren, at least for the most part, are more upset because they hated her, because she said things, they responded, they didn't like her. Now that she's permanently suspended with pay, they are jumping for joy about how she's no longer there and she no longer currently has a platform to speak. Now here's where I'm going to say that I agree with Emily. I agree with Emily because Tomi legitimately did contradict herself. She generally came in on her, fire and brimstone show, her final thoughts, and she said this.
The pro-choicers are supposed to be about rare and safe abortions. That's how they avoid sounding like straight-up baby killers, by acknowledging abortion is not a positive thing and a difficult choice.
And then a few months later, knowing that she has differing of opinions, or she said things that her boss, Glenn Beck, didn't exactly like, or didn't exactly agree with. And she went on The View, I personally believe, to kind of be to show herself to them, to show her real self to them. And instead of doing that, instead of showing herself to be the fire and brimstone person she was on The Blaze, she showed herself to be this.
No, I'm pro-choice, and here's why. I am a constitutional, someone that loves the Constitution. I am someone that's for limited government, and so I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies. I can sit here and say that as a Republican, and I can say, you know what, I'm for limited government, so stay out of my guns, and you can stay out of my body as well.
And I feel like that's contradictory, and this is where I agree with Emily. Emily seems to think that she wasn't honest to her audience, which I don't believe she was honest to her audience either. If you're going to be this fire and brimstone person, and you are to the entire internet, which in the last year and a half, Tomi Lahren has basically been an overnight success story, or over a whole year success story. Nobody knew who this girl was, and then she was, prominently speaking on her show all these different opinions, and she becomes this ambassador to the conservative movement. And, I disagreed with almost everything she said, but if you're going to say on your show that abortion is baby killing and we should be outraged by it, and then you're just going to go on to The View and then say you're a constitutionalist, which you're not a constitutionalist. You can look at a backlog of videos and see that Tomi is not a constitutionalist. And then you are going to come out and say, I'm actually pro-choice, which on your show you clearly said that it was baby killing. So which one is it? Is it baby killing, or is it perfectly acceptable? Now, someone could come up to me and say, hey, she could consider it baby killing, but she could also be pro-choice, being as if, she wants less government, that she doesn't want government controlling, other women's insides, other women's bodies. That is a point well taken. But the thing is, we'll never know. We don't know how Tomi thinks. She's clearly not an honest person. But she wasn't showing the way she was on her show. She was showing that Tomi Lahren on The Blaze was merely just a character, if we are to believe that she is truly pro-choice. Not to mention, I don't know that many people who are pro-choice that think that abortion is baby killing, okay? I don't like Glenn Beck. I think that Glenn Beck was at odds with Tomi. But here's what I do believe, okay? I do believe that he has the right, as an employer, to take her off the air, which she sued him, and then he countersued, and she's saying that she's locked out of her Facebook page. Tomi, you're getting the money, okay? You were saying all these things about the SJWs, about the special snowflake, social justice warriors, and now you're acting like nothing more than a professional victim yourself. Okay, so my suggestion to Tomi Lahren is, yeah, it's not fair. Okay, it's not fair that you got fired because of what you said. Because either you had an opinion and you switched the opinion, or you always had an opinion and you said it in a different way. We don't have freedom of speech in this country where people can say whatever they want and keep their jobs. Okay, that's just not how freedom of speech works in this country. And I hope Tomi learns her lesson to where the next job that she's on, she means what she says, and she is saying things on a consistent level. And that's my suggestion, and that is my final thoughts. So, everyone have a good day. Everyone have a good afternoon. Peace. I'm out. See ya.